Good morning, guys. All are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm in chat box.
Recording in progress.
So thanks for confirmation. In last session, what we discussed, guys? So in last session, we discussed about sed command, vi editor we discussed, vi editor, sed command, and so this grep command, these things we discussed in the last session, guys. So what is the purpose of grep command? By using grep command, we can search for the word in the file, guys. So inside a file, if you want to search for any word, we can use the grep command, guys. Not only file, guys. You can search in the directories, you can search in the subdirectories, everywhere you can search for the word by using grep command. So what is VI? VI is the text editor, guys. And in our Windows version, how Notepad is the default text editor. Same in Linux version, VI is the default text editor. Okay, by using VI, we can create the files, we can edit the files, and we can do anything, guys. Okay, so next one is the sed command. What is the purpose of sed command? Sed is stands for stream editor. By using sed command, without opening the file, we can replace the text, and without opening the file, we can delete the lines also by using sed command. Sed is stands for what? Stream editor. VI stands for visual interface. grep stands for what, guys? Global regular expression. See, guys. grep stands for global regular expression point, guys. grep stands for global regular expression point. VI stands for visual interface. Sed stands for stream editor. So all these three we discussed in the last session, guys. Fine. So as part of today's session, we are going to discuss file permissions. As part of today's session, we are going to start file for permissions. Observe carefully, guys. What is this file permissions? File permissions. See, guys. So now let me connect with the EC2 instance first. Let me connect with the EC2 instance. And this is our instance Linux new VM. Linux new VM. Let me start this. Start instance. If you want to see the files or folders which are available in the present working directory, so which command we need to use? ls command we need to use. By using ls command, we can list out the files which are available in the present working directory. So if you want to get the long list in the sense what? Wait, who is the owner of that file? Under which group that file is created? When that file is created? Whether it is directory file or normal text file and permissions on that file. If you want to see those details, then we need to use ls-l. ls-l stands for what? Long list, guys. So now let me connect with this. Let take the ssh command. Let go to the terminal, paste that ssh command here, enter. Right. So now here in last session, we have created some files, guys. Let me check what permissions are there on those files. ls-l. See guys, here we are getting long list. Right, EC2-user is the owner. Right, it is belongs to under this group. These files are created on so and so date, guys. These are the file names. Right, by using first character, right, we can tell whether it is a directory file or normal text file. After first character, whatever other characters are available, these are the permissions on that file, guys. These are the permissions on that file. Here total how many characters are there? Total we have 10 characters at here. First character will represent whether it is a normal text file or directory file. First character will tell whether it is a normal text file or directory file. Remaining 9 characters will tell the permissions on that file, guys. And here how many characters we have? Total 10 characters are available. First character will give the information whether it is a normal text file or directory file. Remaining 9 characters will tell about the permissions on that file, guys. Observe carefully, guys. Now observe carefully here. So let me copy this one, guys. Let me copy one file, complete file. Let me copy this. So now open the paint. Open the paint. Observe carefully, guys. Okay, so this is my file. So this is my file, guys. Let me increase the font also. Okay, fine, guys. Observe carefully. So now let me take one more also. Let me take directory file also. Okay, here also one more file we have taken. Let me increase the font for this also. Okay, see guys, observe carefully. Here I have taken 2 files, guys. So now here the first character of the line will tell whether it is a directory file or normal file. Here total how many characters we have? Here total 10 characters are available. Total 10 characters are available at here, guys. So in this 10 characters, first character will tell about the file type. First character will tell about the file type, guys. Here how many remaining characters we have? 9 characters are available. So in these 9 characters, these 3, right? First 3, one group. Second 3, one group. Last 3, one group, guys. Observe carefully. Here first character will give the type of the file. The second, third character, guys. See. So these are third characters, first set. These are third characters is what, guys? This third character is what? These 3 characters what, guys? So these 3 are the right permissions, right? User have, guys. User permissions. These are 3 characters, right? User permissions. Next 3 characters are group permissions. Last 3 characters are others permissions, guys. User is nothing but what? Owner, guys. Owner of the file. Right? First 3 characters, user permissions. Here who is the user? EC2-user. EC2-user is the user. And here first 3 are what? User permissions. Next 3 are what? Group permissions. Who is the group? EC2-user only is the group. Second 3 characters are group permissions. Last 3 characters are others permissions. Others have only read permission at here. Others have only read permission. Group have read permission and write permission. User have read permission and write permission. Observe carefully. First character will give the type of the file. So next three characters, user permissions. Second three characters, group permissions. Last three characters are others permissions. Okay. See here, we have this demo.txt file. On this demo.txt file, user have read permission and write permission. R stands for read permission, W stands for write permission, X stands for execute permission. R stands for read permission, W stands for write permission, X stands for execute permission. On this demo.txt file, user have read permission, write permission. User does not have the execute permission on this demo.txt file. If there is no particular permission, in that place you will get the hyphen symbol. Means user does not have the execute permission. That's why here hyphen symbol is available. Hyphen symbol means there is no that permission, guys. Okay? That user have read permission on demo.txt file. User have write permission on demo.txt file. User does not have execute permission on this demo.txt file. Suppose if this demo is the shell script file, if this demo is shell script file, user can run that shell script file? No. Why? User does not have the execute permission. That's why user cannot able to execute that demo shell script file. And if user wants to execute that shell script file, what we need to do? Explicitly, we need to provide the execute permission to the user. How to provide the permissions? We'll discuss, guys. Okay, first try to understand. R stands for what? Read permission. W stands for what? Write permission. One more permission we have, that is X. X stands for execute permission. On this demo.txt file, that user what permissions, for user what permissions are there, for group what permissions are there, for others what permissions are there, we can tell by seeing these things, guys. Okay. So now observe carefully. On demo.txt, user have read and write permissions. There is no execute permission. Same. Second one is what? Group. Right? What permissions group have on this demo.txt? Read permission and write permission only. There is no execute permission. Right? What permissions others have on this demo.txt? Only read permission. There is no write and execute permission on this demo.txt. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear? R stands for what? Read. W stands for write. X stands for execute. First character, file type. Next three characters, user permissions. Second three characters, group permissions. Last three characters, others permissions. On this demo.txt, user have only read permission, write permission. There is no execute permission. That's why they have given hyphen. Group have only read permission and write permission. There is no execute permission. Others have only read permission. There is no write permission and execute permission on this demo.txt. Is it clear? Everyone, please respond. Others. Okay. So what about second case? Here we have one more file. One more file is there. What about this file, guys? Right, this is the directory file. How you can tell? Based on the first character, we can tell whether it is a directory file or normal text file. If first character is D, then that is the directory file. If first character is hyphen, then that is the normal text file. After D, how many characters are there? 9 characters are there. So see, guys, observe carefully. So like this, 9 characters are there. First 3 characters. Right, first 3 characters will tell user permission. Next 3 characters will tell group permission. Last 3 characters will tell others permission. So this DevOps is what? This is the directory file. On this DevOps file, what user have the permissions? Read permission, write permission, and execute permission also. Right, user have read permission, write permission, and execute permission also on this DevOps folder. Right? Group also have read permission, write permission, and execute permission on this DevOps. Next, others have read and execute permission only. There is no write permission for the others. Observe carefully, guys. First character is type of the file. Next three characters, user permissions. Next three characters, group permissions. Last three characters, others permissions. Okay, so here in this DevOps file, right, what user have, what permissions user have, read, write, and execute. Right, what group have, read, write, and execute. What others have, read and execute only. Read and execute only, guys. Is it clear? Right, guys. Now observe carefully. Let me add these points in our notes. Here, in Linux, everything will be represented as files only. That we all know already. In Linux, everything will be represented as files only. In Linux, everything will be represented as files only. How many types of files we have? Two types of files. In Linux, we have below two types of files. Below two types of files. Okay, what two types of files are there? One is directory file. Second one is normal text file. Normal text file is available. Okay, a file can have three types of permissions, guys. A file can have three types of permissions. What three types of permissions are there? One is the read permission, right? So that we will represent with R character. Second one is the write permission, that we will be represented by using W character. Third one is the execute permission. Execute permission. So this we will represent by using X character. See, guys, a file have three types of permissions, guys. Three types of permissions. One is the read permission. Second one is the write permission, and third one is the execute permission. Right? Observe carefully, guys. A file can have these three types of permissions. Okay. Now observe carefully. Right? If you have read permission, then what you can do? You can read the data. If you have read permission, right, you can read the data. You can read the data, right? So which is available, right, in the file, guys. If you have the read permission, then you can read the data which is available in the file, guys. Next, suppose if you have write permission, then what you can do? Right, you can write the data, right, inside the file, guys. If you have read permission, then you can read the data which is available in the file. If you have write permission, then you can write the data inside the file. If you have execute permission, then what you can do? If you have execute permission, then what you can do? Then you can install. I want to install some packages. Then you should have the execute permission. You can install software packages, and you can execute. You can execute shell script also. You can execute shell script, guys. You can execute shell script files. If you want to execute any script, then also you should have the execute permission. Otherwise, you can't able to execute the script, guys. If you want to install any software packages, or if you want to execute any shell script files, then you should have execute permissions. Then only you can do that, guys. Guys, observe carefully. In Linux, everything will be represented as files only. In Linux, we have these two types of files, directory files and the normal text files. A file can have three types of permissions. One is the read permission, write permission, and execute permission. And if you have the read permission, then you can read the data which is available in the file. If you have the write permission, then you can write the data inside the file. If you have execute permission, then you can install software packages and you can execute the script files. Is it clear? Fine. So how you can tell which one is the directory file and the normal text file, guys? Observe carefully. Observe carefully, guys. Right. So based on the first character, we can tell, based on the first character, we can tell that whether right, the file is normal text file, or directory file. See, guys, based on the first character, we can tell whether the file is normal text file or directory file, guys. Okay, if the first character is D, if the first character is D, then that is directory file. If first character is hyphen, then that is normal text file. Guys. Observe carefully, guys. Based on the first character, we can tell whether it is a directory file or normal text file. If you have first character D, then that is the directory file. If you have first character is hyphen, then that is the normal text file. Understood, guys? Up to here clear? Right. So now let me take this, guys. Here whatever we have. So let me take these examples here again. Let me keep these things in the notes. Then you guys will get more clarity while reading. See, guys, here this is the example, guys. Here demo.txt file. Here demo.txt file is the is what, guys? Is the normal text file. Guys. Is the normal text file. Demo.txt is the what? Normal text file, guys. Okay, so on demo.txt file, user have what permissions? Read and write permission. There is no execute permission. How you can tell demo.txt is the normal text file or directory file? By using first character. By seeing first character, we can tell. First character is what? Hyphen. That is because of that, this file is normal text file. Okay, here on demo.txt file, right, user have read permission, read and write permission. Right, there is no execute permission. Guys. On demo.txt file, user have just read and write permissions. There is no execute permission. What about group? Guys? Group also have read and write permissions only. There is no execute permission. See, guys, on this demo.txt file, group have read and write permissions. There is no execute permission. What about others? Have on demo.txt file? Others have Others have read permission only. Read permission only, guys. Others have read permission only. Right? There is no write and execute permissions. Write and execute permissions, guys. Observe carefully. And here we have this example, guys. Here first character is what? Hyphen. Then this is the normal text file. Right? Next, guys. Here user have what permissions? Read and write permissions. There is no execute permission. What about group? Group also have only read and write permissions. There is no execute permissions. What about others? Others also have only read permission. There is no write and execute permissions at here. Is it clear? Fine. So now let me take another example also, guys. Here let me take directory file example also. If I give at least 2 examples, then you guys will get more clarity. This is example 2, guys. Here we are giving example 2 at here, guys. Okay. So this is one more example. What about here, guys? What is this? DevOps, guys. DevOps is a directory file. Here DevOps is a directory file, guys. DevOps is a directory file. Directory file. Okay. So next, guys. On DevOps file, user have read, write and execute permissions. Guys. Observe carefully, guys. Here user, what permissions user have? Read permission, write permission and execute permission also. Right? What about group? Group also all these 3 permissions, guys. Group also all these 3 permissions here. Right? On DevOps file, group. Right? Group have read permission, write permission and execute permission also. What about others? What permissions others have? Right? Here others have only read permission and execute permission. Right? Only read and execute permission. There is no write permission, guys. Others have read and execute permissions. Right? There is no write permission, guys. Write permission. Okay, is it clear, guys? Up to here clear? Up to here everybody clear? Very good. So now I want to modify the file permissions, guys. Now I want to modify the file permissions. I want to modify the file permissions, guys. Here, if you take demo.txt, on this demo.txt, user have read and write permissions only. Now, I want to give execute permission also to the user. I want to give execute permission to the user. How you will give? For group, read and write permissions are there. I want to remove the write permissions for the group. How you can remove that? I want to add the permission and I want to remove the permission. How you can add the permission and how you can remove the permission? Which commands we need to use to add the permission or to remove the permissions, guys? Here, which command we need to use to add and remove the permissions, guys? Here we need to use chmod command. We have a command that is called chmod command. By using that chmod command, we can add the permissions and we can remove the existing permissions also. Right, we'll see, guys, how to do that one. See here, user have read and write permissions only. So now I want to give the execute permission also. Observe carefully. Here user have read and write permissions. I want to give the execute permission. Right, observe carefully, guys. Observe very carefully. To whom you want to give the permission? User. Okay. Then we need to use alphabet U. Alphabet U. Right. Which permission you want to give? Execute. Right. By using which character? Right. We will represent the execute permission X character. Okay. So here you want to add or remove. I want to add. Add, guys. Then here we need to use plus symbol, guys. Observe carefully here. Observe carefully, guys. See here. I want to use chmod command, chmod space. For whom you want to give the permission? User. So you. Right here you want to add or remove, add. So plus. Which permission you want to give? Execute. So X. On which file you want to give this permission? Demo.txt. See guys, like this we need to give. And by using chmod command, we can add the permissions and we can remove the permissions. Here we are adding execute permission. To whom? User. That's why here I am using you. And are you adding or removing? Adding. That's why here we are using plus. Right. So which permissions you are adding? Execute permission. That's why here I am using X guys. U plus X. On which file? Demo.txt file. So this is the command what we need to use to add the permissions or to remove the permissions. Now enter. Okay. After executing this command, now check once again ls hyphen here. Here you can see that user got execute permission. Here earlier user does not have the execute permission, but we have given the execute permission to the user. See guys, X also keep. X also keep. See guys, now here file color also changed. Because of this reason, you can't able to tell right by seeing color name whether it is a directory file or normal text file. Can't able to tell right by using color whether it is a directory file or normal text file. We can tell by using only first character. Okay, fine. So now here for the group, I want to remove the write permission guys. How you will remove? Same chmod command I will use. Chmod. To whom you want to remove the permission? Group. So here we need to use G. Okay, do you want add or remove? Remove. So we need to use minus symbol. Okay, which permissions you want to remove? Write permission. So W. For group, I want to remove write permissions. G minus W. On which file? Demo.txt. Demo.txt. Enter. Okay, so now you can check ls hyphen L. See guys, see here earlier group have read permission and write permission. Group have read permission and write permission. RW is there. Now after executing this command, see guys, group have only read permission. There is no write permission. There is no write permission. You may ask the question, can I give at a time 2 permissions? My God, we can give guys. Why not? We can give 2 permissions at a time. Let me give. Here others have only read permission. Now I want to add write permission and execute permission also to the others. Others have only read permission, but now I want to provide a write permission and execute permission also. How you will provide that? How you will provide that guys? Observe carefully. At chmod, to whom? Others. Which character? O we need to use. Right? What permissions you want to add? I want to add write permission and execute permission also. See guys, for others, I want to add write permission W plus execute permission X. Both I want to add. Chmod O plus W plus X. Now here, right, on which file? Demo.txt file. Demo.txt file. Enter. Okay. Now you can check ls hyphen here. See guys, earlier here, others have only read permission. Now others got read, write and execute permission also. Read, write and execute permission also others got it here. Is it clear? How to modify the file permissions? Clear? By using which command we can modify the file permissions? Clear? Respond everybody please. Okay, fine. Observe carefully guys. Let me add these points also in our notes. And here modifying file permissions. Modifying file permissions guys. Modifying file permissions. Modifying file permissions guys. Okay, here what we need to do, observe carefully guys. By using chmod command, by using chmod command, we can modify file permissions. We can modify file permissions. Okay, so next by using chmod command, we can add the permissions, right, and we can remove the permissions also. See guys, and here by using chmod command, we can modify file permissions. By using this chmod command, we can add the permissions and we can remove the permissions also. Both we can do by using chmod command. Okay, next guys, to add the permissions, right, we will use which symbol? Plus symbol. We will use plus symbol to add the permissions. Next guys, to remove the permissions, and we will use which symbol? Minus symbol we will use to remove the permissions. Okay, so now let me take the example here guys. Let me take the example at here. Same example I'm going to take it here guys. Now here we have used this example, right? Let me take this. Okay, fine. Here for a user, I want to add execute permission. Guys, here user does not have the execute permission. Now I want to add the execute permission to the user guys. Then which command we need to use? How to write the command? See guys, here chmod command we need to use. To whom you are adding the permission? User. Right? Are you adding or removing? Adding. Which permission? Execute permission. On which file? Demo.txt file. Okay, here I want to remove, write permission. Here I want to remove write permission for group guys. For group I want to remove the write permission. How you will remove that? chmod group write G. Right, group write G. So are you want to add or remove? So minus which permission? Write permission W. G minus W on which file? Demo.txt file. Demo.txt guys. Chmod right G minus W demo.txt file. Right. Next guys. Next here I want to add execute and write permissions for others guys. Right, execute and write permissions for others guys. How you will add that? See guys, same chmod command, right? So I want to add for others, right? Plus I want to add two permissions, write permissions and execute permissions on demo.txt file. Guys, have a look into this file, modifying file permissions once. Please have a look into this. Guys, notes is understandable, everyone? Understandable this notes? Is it clear? Right guys, but in interview, right, they are asking file permissions with the numeric numbers. We can add and remove the file permissions with the numeric numbers also. Here we are using alphabets, right? But we can do by using numeric numbers also. In interview, they are asking, right, how to modify the file permissions using numbers. So that also we need to understand. How you can modify the file permissions using numeric numbers guys. Observe very carefully. Interview, right, they're asking guys. Okay, fine. See here, file permissions. File permissions with numeric numbers. File permissions with numeric numbers. File permissions with numeric numbers. Okay, fine guys. Guys, you should remember these numbers. There is no option. That you guys should remember. And here we need to take the numbers from 0 to 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0 to 7 numbers we need to take. Here 0 stands for what? 0 means what guys? 0 means no permission. And here in earlier case guys, hyphen means no permission. Hyphen means no permission. In the numeric case, 0 means no permission. No permission guys. Next here we have 1 guys. 1 means what guys? Only execute permission. 1 means only execute permission guys. Okay. Next we have 2. 2 means what guys? Only write permission. Only write permission guys. 2 means only write permission. What about 3? What about 3 guys? Guys, 1 minute, let me connect to the charger. Two means what? Only write permission. Next here we have 3. 3 means what guys? Execute and write permission. Execute and write permission guys. Execute and write permission. 4 means what? Only read permission. 4 means only read permission guys. Next 5 means what? 5 means what guys? 5 means read and execute permission. Read and execute permission. 5 means read and execute permission guys. Next here we have 6. 6 means what guys? Read and write permissions. Read and write permissions guys. Read and write permissions. Right. 7 means what? 7 means read, write and execute all permissions. If you give 7 means all permissions I need to give. 7 means all permissions. Read, right, write and execute permissions. Execute permissions guys. 7 means read, write and execute permissions. Guys, have a look into these numbers. 0 means no permission. 1 means only execute permission. 2 means only write permission. 3 means execute and write permissions. 4 means only read permission. 5 means read and execute permission. 6 means read and write permissions. 7 stands for read, write and execute permissions. You should remember these numbers guys. If you remember these numbers, then we can play with this, right? File permissions with the numeric numbers also. Okay, very good. So now let me go to here guys. Let me go to our terminal. At ls-l. Okay, here we have f1.txt file. Now let me take this example. f1.txt file is available, right? f1.txt file guys. Now for user, I want to give the all permissions. For user, I want to give the all permissions. Right? For remaining people, I want to remove all permissions. I want to remove the permissions for group and I want to remove the permissions for others. Only for user, I want to give all permissions. For remaining group and others, I don't want to give any permissions, guys. Then what we need to do? Guys? At which command? Same chmod command only here also. Here also, same chmod command only we will use. But earlier, while adding the permissions, removing the permissions, we used alphabets. But now, we are going to use numeric numbers. That is only the difference, guys. Remaining everything is same. Observe carefully. Guys. chmod on this f1.txt file, I want to give full permissions to the user and I want to remove permissions for group and others. Then what we need to do? Very simple, guys. See, observe carefully. Right? Full permissions means what number? Full permissions means what number, guys? Full. If you give 777, all permissions will come from user, group, and others. If you give 777, what will happen? User will get the full permission, group will get the full permission, and others also will get full permissions. But my requirement is what? Only for user I want to give the full permissions. For remaining people, existing permissions also I want to remove. Then here what we need to do? 7. First one. Here first one 7 means it will go to the user. Second place 0 means it will go to the group. Third place 0 means it will go to the group. Now here what I am doing? For user 7 number means all permissions. 0 means what? No permission. For group there is no permissions. 0 means what? No permissions. For others also there is no permissions. On which file? f1.txt. f1.txt. Enter. Now check it once. ls-l. See guys, observe carefully. On this f1.txt file, earlier user have only read and write. Group also have read and write. Others have read permission. Now guys, observe carefully what happened. User have the full permission, read, write, X. Group 0 permission. Others 0 permissions. Here what we have used? 700. 700. Okay. Guys, now tell me, chmod, guys, don't execute parallelly. First concentrate, guys. Right, don't execute parallelly on the terminal along with me. After completing, you guys can practice, guys. Okay. When I ask the questions, please respond first. Okay. Fine. Chmod. So now, guys, observe carefully. You guys need to tell. Now what we will get? 7 I am giving. 7 I am giving. And here f1.txt I am giving. f1.txt. Now tell me what output we will get. Who will get which permission? Now tell me, guys. Respond. 7 I am giving. I am giving only 1 digit, not 3. What will happen? Who will get the full permissions?
User.
No, man. No. If you give single digit, it will applicable for the last person others. It will applicable for the last person others, not for the users. Very good, Ben. Right? It will go to the last person only, not for user, guys. Okay. Here, if you give single digit, it will go to the last person, not first person. Now observe carefully. Enter. Now here ls-l. See guys, on this f1.txt file, others got the full permission, right? User and group got 0 permission. Okay. See guys, you can give in 2 ways. You can give in 2 ways, guys. chmod, and only 7 you can give. Only 7 you can give, or else 007 also you can give. If you want to give the full permissions for the others, only 7 you can give, or else 007 also you can give to give full permission to the others, guys. Okay. Next, guys. I want to give the full permissions for the group. Right? I want to give the full permissions for the group. For user and others, I want to make it as 0 permissions. How I can do that? 070 you need to use on f1.txt. Enter. Wait, 1 minute. Space, guys. I forget to give the space. Enter. So now you can check ls-l. See guys, on f1.txt, group got the full permissions, users and others got the 0 permissions. Users and others got the 0 permissions, guys. Guys, in interview, right, they will ask the question like this. They will ask the questions like this. To give all permissions to the user, read and execute for permission for the group, write and execute permission for the others, guys. Then what I need to use? Interview, they will ask, hey man, I want to give full permissions to the user. Okay. For group, I want to give read and execute permission. See guys, right? Full permission for user, right? Read and execute permission for group. Next, write and execute permission for others, guys. full permission for user, read and execute permission for group, write and execute permission for others. Right? What we need to do? Right? Like this, they will ask in the interview. They won't ask how you will give the full permission for the user, how you will give full permission for the group, how you will give full permission for the others. Everyone can tell, right? Seven. If you give 7, right, they will get the full permissions. But they will ask like this. How you will give full permission for user, how you will give read and execute permission for group, how you will give write and execute permission for the others. Right? What we need to do, guys? What number we need to give? Observe carefully. Now here, let me give chmod space, right, full permission for user, 7. Right? Read and execute permission for group, 5. Right? Write and execute permission for others, 3. 3 guys, 753 on f1.txt file. F1.txt file, guys. So like this, they will ask in the interview. Enter. Now you can check ls-l. See guys, on f1.txt, user got the full permission. Right here, group got only read and execute permission, and others got write and execute permissions. Others got write and execute permission. So like this, they will ask in the interviews. Okay, now let me write these things in our notes. Okay, observe carefully, guys. So now here, let me take above example like this. See guys, now here just I am changing the file name at f1.txt. Just I am changing the file name as f1.txt, guys. Okay, fine. So now here what I need to give? That give all permissions. Give all permissions and for user. Give all permissions for user. What we need to do? See guys, observe carefully. chmod. Here we need to use 700 f1.txt. See, user will get all permissions at here, right? Group and others will get the 0 permissions. Okay, now I want to give all permissions to the group. Right? Give all permissions to group, guys. Give all permissions for group. Here what we need to do? Simple, right? These are simple things. chmod at 070 on f1.txt file. Okay, next I want to give all permissions for others. 2 ways we can give, guys. Give all permissions for others. Guys. Here we have 2 ways are there. You can use chmod, right? Only 7 at f1.txt. F1.txt, guys. Or and you can give like this also. You can give. See guys, or chmod 007 f1.txt, like this also you can do. Next guys, next here. Yes, so last case we have seen, right? What is that last case? It give all permissions. It to give it all permissions to user. It read and execute permission. It for group. Next guys, write and execute permission right for others, guys. For others, what you need to do? See guys, chmod for user, I want to give the full permissions. For that, here what we need to use? It is 7 we need to use. For group, we need to give read and execute permissions. For that, here what we need to use? 5 we need to use. For others, write and execute permissions we need to give. For that, 3 we need to use on f1.txt file. Guys, have a look into this. Clear, guys? Anyone have any questions in today's session? Anyone have any questions in today's session? Please respond. File permissions, guys. How to get the file permissions information? How you will get the file permissions information? By using ls-l command, you will get the permissions details, guys. Okay. And we have seen what is user permissions, what is group permissions, what is other permissions. And we have seen how to modify the file permissions using alphabets. And we have seen how to modify the file permissions by using numeric numbers also. How to modify the file permissions by using numeric numbers also we have seen this. Okay. Clear? Okay. Fine, guys. For today, I'm stopping. Why? Because if I start user accounts, guys, creating user accounts and all, if we can't able to finish in next 10 to 15 minutes, we need to spend at least half an hour on that. So now, right, other people need to join office, right? So that's why, guys, in today's session, anyone have any question, please, you guys can ask. Or else, for today, I will stop. Tomorrow, we will understand user, how to create the new users, how to create the new users, how to add the users to the groups, right? How to remove the users from the group, how to add user to the multiple groups, right? And so next, guys, right, how to change the so user of the file, how to change the group of the file. See, guys, here, for this f1.txt file, who is the user? EC2-user. Right? Under which group? EC2-user group. Now, after creating new users, you can change the owner of this file, and you can change the group of this file. Right? Your owner you can change, group also you can change. How to change those things? Right? So, and all these things, locate command, find command is there, very, very important. Those commands also, locate command, find command, right? And networking commands, we have networking commands like ifconfig command, wget command, curl command, ping command, networking commands we need to understand, right? So, and I will show how to host the static website in the Linux machine also. I will show how to host a static website in the Linux machine, guys. And then we need to install, then we need to understand what are the different package managers we have in Linux. Right, we have these, right, apt package manager, m package manager, right, so rpm package manager, like dnf package manager, like the different package managers are there. We need to understand about those package managers, and I will show how to install the packages in the Linux machine, how to install the softwares in the Linux machine, that I want to discuss. And all these things we need to discuss, guys. All these things we need to discuss. Maybe tomorrow and the day after tomorrow also we need to spend on these commands only. We'll see, guys. We'll see. Right? Okay. Fine, guys. For today I'm stopping. Tomorrow we will discuss remaining things, guys. Thanks for joining, guys. Tomorrow we will continue. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Recording stop.